peace and blessings. We're back with another video. This one is about signs you'll see before God blesses you. The significance of this movie lies in the fact that when you are a follower of God and you are on the narrow path, you are constantly progressing and raising yourself. These signs from God are going to appear to you at the precise moment when it is time to advance, when it is time to level up. The blessing of God is a token of appreciation for your obedience. You are being rewarded by Him because He observes His son or daughter making adjustments, acting in a moral manner, and making an effort to remain on the narrow path. These are the indications that you will observe. Number 1, you'll see before God's blessing you is God will remove the dead weight out of your life. God will take away certain individuals and things, including friends, family, and connections. He will deliberately enter your life and take away all that has to go. For the reason that the blessing that God has in store for you is for you, God will always disclose your enemies before He benefits you. This is because the blessing that God has for you is for you. It's not for them at all. Due to the fact that you get what you plant, it is not for other people. You are the one who put in the effort, and the individuals from your immediate environment are your adversaries. Remember that there is a proverb that says you should maintain your grass low so that you can see the snakes. What is meant by that? It implies that in order to discern who is truly around you and who genuinely has your best interests, objectives, and heart, you may need to cut ties with some individuals. When God removes the dead weight and you are left alone, you will see that these individuals were only holding you captive. These folks were simply maintaining you where you were, not assisting you in rising beyond or developing. Therefore, before God can bless you, He must reach into your life and take out all that is unnecessary. Number 2, before God blesses you, you're going to feel weak. You'll want to give up at some point. Before they received their blessings, a lot of people in the Bible felt like giving up. They experienced weakness. Read through the book of Job. You know, prior to receiving the blessing, he felt weak. The devil, his own wife, and even his own friends were attacking him. You know, he was told to curse God by his own wife. That is absurd. Things like this will occur. God will occasionally let the enemy put you to the test if he wants to bless you too. God will let it know when you're prepared to receive the blessing. Examine Job. When Job triumphed over the trial and the enemy's attacks, God rewarded him twice over, double for your trouble. God will therefore always bless you twice. God will occasionally permit the devil, your adversary, to appear and try you. It's merely an assessment. The devil truly could only actually delay your blessings. Really, that was all he could do. You may give in to him now, but as God's children, we shall resist giving in to Satan. But when God is testing you and permitting specific events to occur, the devil can only do that. He had no choice except to put it off. It's only a test, though. The Bible declares that blessed is the man who endures. You will give in to the temptations. You have to get past the phony pals. You have to put up with the betrayal. You have to put up with the slanderers and gossipers. You must experience it. To go through life, you have to go through it. That's the main purpose of existence. It's actually developing you, molding you, and shaping you into who you're supposed to be the entire time, which is why you have to go through it to get through life. Some of the folks in your immediate vicinity are truly keeping you down. You're being held captive by them. Number 3, God will do before the blessing. He's gonna make you wait. Patience is a trait that many of us find difficult. Be patient and wait for God's plans for your life. There are moments when we want to rush things. We prefer to move rapidly and like to rush things. Recognize that you will lose things more quickly the sooner you receive them. I'll say it again. You will lose something faster than you will receive it. God may occasionally try your patience. My patience has been put to the test numerous times by God before I was blessed. As the Bible puts it, be not weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. Galatians 6:9. It takes patience. It doesn't necessarily imply there hasn't been any improvement if after 3, 4, or 5 months, or even a year, 2 years, or maybe 5 years, you're still being faithful to God. God's blessings increase with the length of time He has you wait. Again, the greater the blessing, the longer God has you wait. That's something to always remember. The fact that you continue to do well for a long time without really seeing anything merely indicates that the benefit will be greater. Stay on the path that God has set for you. Follow the calling that God has placed on your life. Be dependable, goal-oriented, disciplined, and focused. Exercise self-control over your body and the things you let into your life. Have an accountable personality. That is the third event that will occur prior to receiving God's blessing. God is going to put your faith to the test next, men. Patience comes first, followed by faith. He puts your faith to the test to determine whether this individual is truly intended for what He has in store for them. God frequently bestows great blessings, yet you fail the exam. Perhaps you gave in to temptation, so you fail the patience or faith test and don't get what you're supposed to. According to the Bible, the man who resists temptation is blessed. Perhaps you were drawn to specific things. I can attest from my own experience that although God was gracious to me, I failed because I gave in to temptation. However, according to James 1:1-2, the man who resists temptation is blessed because he will receive the crown that the Lord has promised him. That's something to always remember. The lifeless weight will be lifted by God. Never forget that. This is the place to be if you're wondering why life seems so difficult. Number 4. He'll do right. People will start to change. The individuals in your life will begin to shift. God will strengthen your ability to perceive and give you eyesight. You'll see something you've never seen before. These folks actually kind of detest you in their hearts, since you were the ones referring to them as sisters, bros, or buddies outside. You never imagined that some people would turn against you. Even Judas, Jesus did not initially believe Judas to be a devil. See, yet God let Judas to exist in his life. He gave his approval, so occasionally God permits it, and you men deal with adversaries and spirits. Recall that Judas was a part of the entire scheme. All of these devils that enter your life are also intended to be there. They are a component of the strategy to help you advance and develop. You gather all the stones that are thrown at you, and your enemies throw at you in order to construct your castle or kingdom. That's something to always remember. The enemy will enter when the moment comes to grow, when it's time to rise, and when you should receive God's benefits. God, you see, never forgets that. God permits it to take place. Everything is in the power of God. The devil is under God's authority. Although the devil may believe he is in charge and that he is a puppet master, God is the ultimate puppet master. The devil is limited to what God permits him to do. Naturally, the devil can enter your life if you are leading a disobedient life and opening doors by deliberate sin and other such acts. However, if you're doing your duty and you're wondering why these things are occurring, know that God is permitting it. In fact, Matthew 19:29 in the Bible states that whoever forsakes certain things for the kingdom of God will receive double in due time. Keep this in mind. It might occur in the afterlife or in 10, 20, or 30 years. Let me be very clear. If you are giving up anything for the kingdom of God, it is essentially for the sake of the kingdom of God. You have to realize this when you give up things for the purpose of the kingdom of God, because some people are unable to follow you where you are going. Wherever God leads you, not everyone can go. You are the only one who can enter through the one door. God's blessings are for you, not for your friends, family, or anyone like that, though you might try to bring them along. Yes, we can experience some emotions because we want our closest companions to accompany us. We would like to bring so-and-so along. However, it's also intended for you. Many are called, but you are prepared to follow that route, If you are selected, you're prepared to go wherever God leads you. It's you who is willing. Thus, constantly remember that in the background. It's not for everyone else. It's for you. Number 5. The next thing you will see before the blessing is that your life is going to get harder. But always remember that when things grow harder in life, it usually indicates that you are either leveling up or are going to level up. Every time I approached or had reached a higher level in life, I had a difficult phase. Like Job, he experienced hardship before rising to a higher level. Thus, constantly remember that in the background. You're about to level up if you feel like, I'm getting attacked, these demonic attacks, or for any other reason. For example, that friends are betraying you, your finances are being attacked, or you're losing specific things. You're going to level up, that's all. Thus, constantly remember that in the background. You're not leveling up if your life isn't getting harder. Because you never get to feel comfy when it's time to advance in life, guys. When it's time to reach new heights. And for that reason, individuals are content to stay comfortable rather than advance in life. Their want is to fit in. They go through difficult times without attempting. They won't experience trials, since those things call for progress, and none of them are attempting to do that. Guys, always remember this. If things are getting harder in your life, it usually means you're going to advance. That's something to always remember. Keep in mind that God intended for good what the enemy meant for your harm. It is the enemy's intention to destroy you and attempt to do so, just as it did with Joseph. Consider what happened to him. Joseph truly was a dream king. God gave him that gift as a blessing and instructed him to accomplish this. Keep your mouth shut when God is about to bless you or when he has a blessing for your life. Because Joseph's family would not have taken the actions that they did if he had never told them about all of his dreams. His family's actions were not what they would have done. They intended to attempt his murder, and that's how envy and jealousy enter the picture. Number 6. God will let the guys keep your mouth shut. Keep it a secret and pretend nothing occurred. For your own safety and protection, don't even consider it. Joseph's family would never have acted as they did if he had never told them what God was about to do in his life. Though we know what we mean, he would have kept it small. God was at work in his life. I'm not trying to minimize Joseph. You do believe that your family will be pleased for you. It's likely that I would have followed suit. You may believe that your family will always be there for you, yet even your own family may turn against you. Therefore, remember that at all times, Guy. God must take some people out of his life. The dead weight has to be removed by him. Everything needs to be in order, even when an airplane takes off. Verify that there is gas in the tank. For the plane to land flawlessly, you must ensure that everything is in place. Number 7. It won't be simple at all. Recognize that, but don't give up just because it's difficult. Have trust. Have genuine faith in the Most High God. Put your trust in Jesus Christ, because no man can take what God has planned for you. The opponent may attempt to halt it, but all he could do was put it off. That's it. The only thing he could do was that. So continue on your current course.